Hi, my name's Sean Elo Rivera, and I'm a candidate for San Diego City Council District 9. I'm running for this position because I love this community. I fell in love with City Heights the moment I came to work here at free legal clinics here in City Heights at Hoover High School, Monroe Clark Middle School, and Rosa Parks Elementary School. And the reason I fell in love with this community is because it reminded me of my own family. I have a multi-ethnic, multi-religious family with roots all over the world, and that's what this community is. And so when I got to know the community through the work at the legal clinic and through organizing work, I just couldn't help but fall in love. And it's why I'm building my family here. It's why I want to help with the homeless and housing crisis. It's why I want to make a cleaner environment for our community. And it's why I want to help overcome the challenges from COVID-19 and bring us to a brighter future. Yeah, so with respect to priorities, I had the privilege of knocking on thousands of doors during the primary campaign. Our campaign team knocked on thousands more, and overwhelmingly, the biggest concern that people expressed was about housing and homelessness. Folks being concerned about being able to pay their rent, and folks being concerned about the number of people who are living on the streets. That very much aligns with my priorities and why I wanted to run for this race as well. We also can't talk about priorities right now in this moment without thinking about COVID-19 and the impact that COVID-19 has had on people financially, health-wise, and otherwise. That is an incredible obstacle that we're going to need to overcome and is certainly a priority. And then the third one I would say is economic and educational opportunity. We need to make sure that everyone in City Heights in District 9 has the opportunities to reach their educational and economic potential with good schools, good jobs. In terms of short-term risks, COVID-19 is first and foremost, right? We really have to think about how we're going to overcome that. And so what I'd like to do is make sure that we have a plan in place, not just to respond to the crisis, but to think about a better path forward. So I grew up in Orange County. I coached at a high school called Fountain Valley High School. It's right next to Garden Grove. About 50% of our students are Asian American, and the overwhelming majority of those students were Vietnamese and Vietnamese American. And so my first work with the Vietnamese community came in that very personal level of working with students and student athletes and their parents to help them reach their goals as athletes, as student athletes, and then send them off to college. It was a wonderful experience. It really grounded me in terms of understanding some of the difficulties that families have when they immigrate to the United States, when they come here as refugees, some of the intergenerational tensions that exist between some of the younger Vietnamese American folks and the elder generations as well. Navigating those was just a real privilege for me. More recently, I've worked with the young people at Youth Will, the nonprofit organization that I work with, to do outreach, to help them do outreach to the Vietnamese American community. We've hired some young Vietnamese American interns who have designed marketing materials to communicate to other young Vietnamese Americans as well as their elders about the importance of completing the census so that Vietnamese American voices are heard, so that they're counted, and so that the priorities and resources, or that the resources that the community needs flow back into this community. And the last thing is, I think as a community college trustee, education is obviously a very important priority for the Vietnamese American community as I've understood it. And so working closely with them to make sure that the priorities and the access to education that is necessary is there for young folks who grow up here and also young people who come here to receive their education. Yeah, so our response to COVID-19, when I swear into City Council, the first task is going to be making sure that our community is on the right track to recover from this crisis. So that first part of that's going to be listening. It's going to be engaging the community and really listening to what the needs are. This is a rolling crisis and things seem to be changing by the day and by the week. And so for it's not just what I think now, but it's kind of fast forwarding into December, making sure that we're having those conversations and that we have the staff and team to do that. So I definitely plan on having someone on staff who can speak Vietnamese, who can engage the community at a really grassroots level so we can understand those concerns. More broadly for the whole community, I think we're going to, again, housing and homelessness, we've got to keep people in their homes. We've got people who are facing evictions and foreclosures as a result of not earning a paycheck. I want to make sure that we're in a place where if we have to lock down again, we've got the policies in place to automatically trigger paycheck replacement, to make sure that rents are being paid, so that we're not that folks are not sitting and waiting for government to act. We can anticipate what the challenges will be. We should be learning over the last 6 months or so, and we should be planning ahead, making sure that those policies kick into place immediately, so that again people are not sitting and waiting and suffering and waiting for government to act. The second thing I would say is, again, when it comes to businesses, making sure that we're being innovative. We're learning a lot right now. We're sitting in this business center and we've got folks who are cutting hair outside. We've got people who are serving food outside. And that was an incredible learning opportunity for San Diego to say, hey, how can we expand business opportunities? So again, it's not just returning back to before, but returning back to a better, or to moving toward a better place. And I think we've seen incredible innovation in this neighborhood and in this community. I'd like to see us build on that, and so that people can really grow as a result of this crisis. I would love to see a Vietnamese Senior Center here in City Heights. I think that'd be beautiful. So I work at a youth organization. I work with young people to create change, but the young people that I work with, they always talk about wanting to have a connection to their elders, to the older generation. And having a hub here in the community for them to be able to do that is not just good for the elders who will be living there, but good for the young people here as well. And so I'm all on board for the vision. I think it's a beautiful, beautiful thing to shoot for. In terms of how I'll support that, one, obviously, I need to support that through policy and through action. Again, I want to make sure that our team is representative of the community and we can really engage with all parts of the community in terms of dialogue and making sure we're hearing what needs exist and how we can best support. So rather than me just saying, here's how I'll support you, I want to listen to what the needs are. In addition to policy and building from that place of listening, I also think that council members and elected officials can play a really important role as being a conduit to the private sector and helping you all raise the money that you need to produce that, right? So I can say, as a council member of District 9, I think this is a really important asset to our community, and you should support Viet Vote in building this community center. And I would be all on board to work with you all to do that.